Welcome back to LEGO Wars and our annual end-of-year Grudge Match special. It's been another amazing year in the arena as we've seen a transition of power between the original victors of the Warzone and the new machines hungry for success, but as always there's room for more action, so let's get stuck in. The first fight is a rumble we recorded back in March when the spikes still worked and Crabantine hadn't defected to France. The robots in this rumble are the diminutive Doggo Growler, the round of 16 finishers Block Lobster, and new to LEGO Wars Stinger.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
So kicking off the whiteboards here, we have a real treat for anyone who is a fan of classic Robot Wars 3 LEGO versions of the classic LEGO Wars machines. We've also got Block Lobster, which is obviously a LEGO Thermidor. We've also got Stinger and Growler in LEGO form as well. Now Growler of course was a house robot in the classic days. However, it's actually quite clearly a lot smaller than both these machines here. I wonder if that will affect it negatively in this fight. It's got those grabbing jaws on the front and the big glowing eyes. Stinger making his LEGO Wars debut here in the war zone and shedding bits and pieces of itself all over the arena floor already. We've already had carnage and mayhem in the opening moments of this battle. I think, yes, look, one of Block Lobster's claws has come off. Purely for decoration, of course, but hey, damage is damage in the LEGO Warzone. Stinger has lost pieces of its wheel as well. I'm just wondering, if Growler is small enough for Block Lobster to actually look over properly. Well, we're going to see it. Oh, they nearly had Growler up and over there. And I'll tell you what, had the sidewall not been there, I think Block Lobster would have had them up and over. We would have seen the dog on its back for a tummy tickle. Stinger bringing in that big swinging, clubbing, whacking maze. Block Lobster would be the favourite in this battle due to his experience in the LEGO Warzone, where they made it to the round of 32 twice. They've made it to the round of 16 this series, defeating Duck in a huge upset in the round of 32. Did lose eventually, though, to 23 Red, unfortunately, but they did give a very good fight to 23 Red. Look at the bits and pieces all over the arena floor as Growler hits the hit release button. And once again, Block Lobster nearly flicked the dog from hell up and over. Oh, goodness me! And Growler very nearly backing into its own kennel there, and he threw itself down the pit. That would have been terrible driving there from the former Robot Wars house robot. Stinger bashing and bumping around. They've lost all sorts. Look at the damage to Stinger's wheels. Do you see it? Both wheel hubs have been absolutely annihilated. And again, Growler nearly throwing itself down the pit, but again, just able to slam on the anchor at the very last second. Good fight this so far, actually. All three machines have got involved. They've all been aggressive. Not too sure how well controlled they've been, meanwhile. As for weapon effectiveness, I'd have to say it would probably go to Stinger at the moment. Growler's jaws are too small to grab a hold of anything. What on earth is going on here? Look! Both machines, Growler and Block Lobster, almost if they heard me, with a bit of a pincer attack there on Stinger, and Stinger's wheel hubs have taken more damage. Look, they are flirting with the pit a little bit towards it as well. Look there at the damage to the wheel hubs of Stinger. Well, we could still see Stinger going out here. Block Lobster seems to have stopped, but they are okay. Nearly getting themselves beached on bits of Stinger there on the arena floor. Stinger's definitely taken the most damage out there, but I'd say his weapon's been the more effective of these three machines. Block Lobster hasn't really managed to get any major flips in, and Growler's jaws, as I said, a little bit too small. We're into the final 10 seconds here, so it is going to go to the judges, and I'll be honest, I'm not too sure who's going to win this one.
6.
Well, Block Lobster are now out thanks to their own driving mistakes. Fantastic. What on earth was that last-minute display of suicide there from Block Lobster? I will have no idea. Stinger, for me, maintained good aggression throughout, and we did get to see its mace come in and do damage to both its opponents. Meanwhile, Block Lobster nearly flicked over Growler there. Shame it's too late for them. They are out, of course. And out of the two remaining machines, I'd say that Stinger was definitely the more effective as far as weaponry is concerned. Probably a little bit more control, too. Growler threw himself down the pit a few times. As for aggression, again, I'd probably say Stinger. Block Lobster, of course, ended it right there by throwing himself down the pit.
And the winner, by unanimous decision, is Stinger. A beautifully chaotic start to the fights tonight as Stinger wins on debut. Next up, it's two robots of differing experience that promised much but failed to deliver in the series. The ex-international champs Duck and the Rookies Cup semi-finalist Project Shadow.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Interesting battle, this one. Duck is renowned for having a tough plow to face off against horizontal spinners like that spinning flywheel on Project Shadow. Project Shadow looks good, doesn't it? Looks fantastic out there. Very unlucky not to make it through to the round of 32 this last series of LEGO Wars. They just missed out on the plays after they died mysteriously against two-headed Flamingo. Oh, but they have managed to cause some damage there to Duck. Duck's plough has come loose there. One of the arms has come off. Oh, goodness me, more damage being done to that plough as well. Now, normally that plough's good against horizontal spinners, but I guess maybe because it's angled at a 45-degree angle, that might be a reason as to why that spinner on Project Shadow is capable of doing more damage to it than most horizontals are. I'm not too sure. Where on earth was Project Shadow going there, driving into the sidewalls? That was terrible control. Oh, but they managed to take off the plough completely now. And that means Duck is completely weaponless. He's got one arm still attached to it on one side. Ah, one of the wheels has gone as well. Well, Project Shadow is pulling apart Duck here. Crispy aromatic shredded Duck, it is becoming in that arena, and now it's been rotated, and we know how much Ducks hate that. Indeed they do. Project Shadow now firmly in control of this fight. Duck is stuck on its own face as well, and I don't think they can get away from there. And this looks like it's in the bag for Project Shadow. Duck managed to wiggle itself free. Can they right themselves? Not too sure if they can. I think one of those arms has been shortened too much, and I don't think they can get the leverage. Oh, what are Project Shadow doing? Can they get away from there? What on earth? No, they can't!
6.
Oh, what a lucky win there for Duck, who do self-right in the end as well. Fantastic. Talk about snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. What on earth was Project Shadow doing there? They were well on top, doing serious damage to the plough on Duck, managing to rip it off completely eventually. Duck were absolutely done for as far as I'm concerned. Yes, they were able to eventually right themselves, but they were struggling. A wheel had gone, the weapon had gone, they were upside down, they were struggling to get away from that situation, and then Project Shadow ended it all by throwing themselves down the pit. What terrible driving.
I do hope Project Shadow can work out speed and control next year as we move on to Fight 3 tonight in the first true grudge match between Atlas and Weldor M. This is the deciding fight between these two golden vets after Weldor took third in last year's international playoff while Atlas took the YouTubers titles. Let's see who will be victorious.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
A real vengeance crunch here, and a deciding battle no less as well between these two machines. They fought each other twice in the past, and each has a victory to its name over the other. Weldor M, of course, defeated Atlas in the third place playoff of the third international championships last year, and Atlas, meanwhile, got its revenge against Weldor M in the final of the YouTubers special that year, managing to claim its second trophy. So everything to play for here, some bragging rights, and a deciding battle to see which of these machines is truly the best. We've seen some great rivalries in the past of LEGO Wars, the most famous which has to be Petunia versus Panic Attack, but this one is slowly gaining traction in popularity as well. Weldor M hitting the pit release, but nearly throwing itself straight down the pit, and Atlas could have a very quick and very easy victory here, and instead decides to help its enemy out. Now, was that a wise tactic? Weldor M getting underneath them there. Remember, that's how they beat Atlas actually in the National Championship, was they got underneath and pushed Atlas towards the pit. Atlas, meanwhile, now pinning Weldor M against the arena side wall, using that lifting scoop to good effect. I'm just wondering, were they showing Weldor M a little bit of respect there by sort of freeing them from the pit, giving them another chance? They obviously didn't want to win such a quick, easy way. They wanted to have a real good fight here against Weldor M, and this is really becoming a good fight here, actually. Two very good machines from LEGO Wars. Atlas, by far the more successful. Like I said, it's had 2 championships to its name, 2 grand finals, and it's never failed to make it to the round of 32, even if it did lose very early on this year in the round of 32 to Pegasus, a machine that has beaten it numerous times in the past. And Weldor M is stripping body parts. That's nothing new there for the Northern Irish machine now as it drives towards the screws, and Atlas using good tactics there to get in behind them and pin them against those screws. Now bring in that lifting scoop. That's the first time we've really seen that grabbing arm of Atlas come into play, and being honest, it did absolutely nothing, did it? This is their new boast weaponry, and we've barely seen it this year. When it finally gets a chance to shine, it does nothing. Weldor M pushing Atlas into the screws, and they didn't follow up on that attack. I wonder why that was. They had a chance to get Atlas up on the screws so get those tracks messed up, and instead they let them go and nearly throwing themselves down the pit again. I tell you what, they like flirting with that pit, don't they? They like flirting with danger. Now trying to get that spinner in on the tracks of Atlas. Can they break one of those tracks off? We know that Atlas struggles when it loses a track. The tracks have been taken off numerous times by many competitors in the past. Think of all the machines that have taken those tracks out. Waddle Dee 2, back in the LEGO Wars Series 2 final, took both of them out. Hijinks as well has managed to snipe them. Emulator's managed to take one off as well in the past. Will Weld or M become another machine that can take those tracks out? Or will Atlas survive? It certainly will survive, and it's going to be finishing this battle by far on top, in my opinion, bringing that lifting scoop in once again, pinning Weld or M against you in the side wall. Cease call. Very good close battle, that one. Going to be a tough one for the judges. Gotta love a good rivalry in robot combat, haven't you? And I tell you what, these two machines certainly gave each other a good fight there. Weld or M using its wedge to its advantage very much throughout that battle. But for me, Atlas's scoop certainly proved to be the more effective weapon throughout. And if you ask me, it was slightly the more aggressive and slightly the more controlled too. Yes, the grabbing arm didn't do much, but that bucket scoop certainly did. And I think that'll be enough to get them the judges' nod here. But a very good fight nonetheless. Fantastic stuff here.
And the winner by unanimous decision is Atlas. Another win for Atlas's incredible tally, as it's time for another robot to make their debut tonight as the heroes of World Championship 7 Copperhead enter the LEGO Wars arena to take on the wayward Wilbert.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Be interesting to see how that egg-beating, drum-spinnery thing of Copperhead works. A new machine, a new build for LEGO Wars. Wasn't quite ready in time for this series of LEGO Wars. However, there will certainly be in LEGO Wars Series 5, I'm sure. This is a chance for them to prove themselves worthy of being in this series, taking on a veteran like Wilbert with its dangerous undercutting bar spinner. Wilbert, for me, a machine that's always really failed to achieve. It's always had potential and has always shown its destructive capabilities, but has unfortunately been let down by bad luck and, being honest, poor driving as well. Both these machines have got several good hits in at the moment. There's bits of both machines on the arena floor, though I will say it looks at the moment that Copperhead has taken the more damage, so you could say that Wilbert has had the more effective weapon thus far in this battle. Speaking of weapons, Copperhead doesn't seem to be spinning. Has it already been taken out? I think it might have been, and that's a shame, because it's a new machine. We were really looking forward to seeing what it could do here, and already it's having problems with its weaponry. There's bits and pieces of it around the arena floor as well, but look at the spinner of Wilbert, though. It's hanging on by a thread, look. That's usually a good inch or so off the arena floor, and it's currently skirting about a millimetre away. So a good slam here from Copperhead could see that weapon come off. Not too sure how they're going to be able to manage it, but they could certainly do so. They've definitely got good pushing power in there. Look, and they have! Look, yes! Wilbert's spinner is disconnected. So now we've gone from two dangerous spinners to two-wheel pushing machines. Oh, fantastic. Feliz Navidad, everyone. Merry Christmas and Happy New Flipping Year. This is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. Yay. Great. Very destructive battle. Completely ruined. Fantastic. So, both machines doing nothing. And doing nothing again. Copperhead coming in on the attack there and pushing Wilbert in towards the screws. Can they get Wilbert caught in those screws? Remember, Wilbert has those little sort of arms or legs, I guess you could say, to balance the robot. And I'll tell you what, one of them gets caught in the screws. I don't know if it'll be able to get out. So that's a very viable tactic actually there by Copperhead. Fair play to them. Their weapon's gone down, but they are still trying their hardest. Wilbert also trying their best, but I don't really know what they can do, really, without their weapon. What's happened here to Copperhead, though? Wilbert is still twitching backwards and forwards. There's enough movement there for them to certainly be considered mobile, but Copperhead is absolutely dead in its tracks. Dead in the water. Has the snake been bitten and run out of venom? It has. They're being counted out. Oh, what a shame. What happened there to Copperhead? They lost the weapon very early on, and now they've lost their drive. And Wilbert, well, I don't know if it was a deserved victory, but it was a victory nonetheless. That's a shame there for Copperhead, because it did look like a very good build, but early on they lost one, not only their weapon, but later on they lost their drive as well, and that is a huge shame in my opinion. That was where the weapon went, look, it got sniped by that spinner of Wilbert. They did manage to take out Wilbert's weapon though as well here, look, which was impressive, and I tell you what, had they not broken down with it, they could have very well won that fight, but then they died. They've certainly got some wrinkles to iron out for the next series. Well done, Wilbert.
Some early bugs for Copperhead to solve in the off-season as we move on to our second rumble of the night, and it's the Minibot's chance to take the centre stage. Hangry, Crabantine and Squire have all had a hand in assisting their big bot pals to win, so let's see if they can win on their own.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
I'll be honest, this is the whiteboard I've most been looking forward to. The Minibot Rumble, Hangry of Bolts, Crabantine of P1, and of course, Squire of Kronzblow. Crabantine will be the favourite here. It's got far more experience than the other two. It has an entire series of experience, more than both of them. Squire, meanwhile, has that big poking, stabbing sword on the front. Not too sure how much damage it can do here. Hangry, meanwhile, a very effective Minibot, and in my opinion, way more effective than its heavyweight counterpart has ever been. I'm pretty certain we are going to be seeing bolts later on in this special as well, so we'll see if they can prove me wrong there. I'm sure they won't, but well, whatever. Squire pushing Hangry around the arena now. Crabantine trying to get those scoops underneath Squire and doing a good job pushing it back there. Good pushing power on Crabantine. Hangry, are they okay? Yes, I think they got a little bit stuck there, and they were lucky they got bumped actually, because they could very well have been counted out. They've lost an eyebrow. So they don't look hangry anymore, they look more quizzical, I guess you could say. Good little drive there by Hangry, and that's one reason why it's so effective in my opinion. It's got those front wedge slits, and that wedge shape of theirs is very, very effective. Squire has a huge ground crunch, as does Crabantine, and that could certainly benefit it in this battle, although both machines now, almost as if they are in agreement, trying to team up against Hangry before then, trying to take on each other, because of course they do. Hangry driving up the side wall there. Something's come off one of the robots. What is that? It looks like a chain of some kind. Who has that come off? I'm not too sure. All the machines seem to be moving perfectly fine, so it must have been superficial damage. I thought that was a drive chain off one of them there. Who it came off, I'm not too sure. But at the moment, all the machines seem to still be driving perfectly well. I think that chain might have come off a Squire, because I think only 3 of the wheels are working. Yes, they are. That back wheel that you can see is only spinning when it touches the ground, but when it's in the air, it has no drive. So that's certainly going to affect them. It's now a 3-wheel drive Minibot rather than a 4-wheel drive Minibot. Can Crabantine get those scoops into play now? The pit release button has yet to be pressed, which surprises me, to be honest. I thought that would have been a viable tactic for these machines, considering they haven't really got any damaging weapons on them. They were going to use their pushing power to their advantage to get the pit open, but I tell you what, they've kept it central. It's almost as if they wanted to go to a judge's decision, and fair play to them for trying to do so. Squire, oh, Crabantine! Managing to flip over Hangry, not too sure how it managed to do that, and I think that could be it now for the Bolts Minibot. Can they right themselves? I don't think so. Oh, they were lucky there. Crabantine came in for an attack and accidentally righted them. I'll tell you what, Hangry were very, very lucky there. They must best their stars. The judges will definitely take a note of that if it goes to the judges. And at this rate, I think it will. In fact, it's going to go to the judges. We're into the final 10 seconds. This has been a terrific fight. Exactly what I thought it was going to be. Good fun, good entertainment all around. And 3 very entertaining machines. Cease called and Crabantine. What are you doing? Oh. If there's anything to prove how close this fight was, I think that ending proves it. I'm honestly not too sure what way that's going to go, because all 3 machines were very aggressive and very well controlled throughout. I will say this much, as far as weapon effectiveness is concerned, I think that Hangry and Crabantine certainly proved to have the more effective weapons. That little spear on Squire just didn't seem to cut the mustard out there, and for me, that makes it a battle between those 2 for the judges, but honestly, it could go anyway. I have absolutely no idea.
And the winner, by unanimous decision, is Crabantine. With the OG LEGO Wars Minibot taking their first overall win, it's Grudge Match 2 now between 2 high seeds that were down on their luck this time round in Waddle Dee Meta and Emulator. These 2 fought in the semi-finals of Series 3 when then rookie Emulator continued their giant killing performances in taking out the Series 2 champions. With the rather meek ending of Waddle Dee's reign, they're out for revenge tonight, so let's see if they can end their year on a high.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
So I believe this battle is taking place simply because both machines didn't perform as well as they usually do, and they want to basically prove that they still have what it takes to cause serious damage. and also put on an entertaining spectacle. So why not throw them in the arena together? Waddle Dee Meta and Emulator. Of course, Emulator was seeded second for this series, and they were runners-up last year, but they lost in the heat. Meanwhile, Waddle Dee Meta lost in the round of 32, despite being a former champion, and they had to fight for the right to be in there through a play-in as well, don't forget, which was a huge surprise. Not many people were expecting that, but alas, it's what happened. And there, damage being done to the rear end now of Waddle Dee Meta, courtesy of that spinner of Emulator. What is that? Is that some sort of weird tail that I didn't know it had? I think it is, you know. What is that on Waddle Dee Meta? I have no idea. Who knows? Oh, some damage on there. Those Emulator, yes, one of the tracks has been torn away. Courtesy of that spinner on Waddle Dee Meta. Oh, but there's a receipt for you because Emulator coming in and ripping off one of the self-righting arms. This is the kind of battle we expected to see from these two. They want to prove themselves. They want to show the world that they still have what it takes to cause the damage. Oh, Emulator's lost another track. But it's still going! That's something that Atlas needs to learn how to do, honestly, because Atlas, once it loses both its tracks, it still goes. But here, Emulator proving that you can lose both tracks and still be completely mobile. This is a terrific battle so far between two very exciting robots. Look at that, more damage being done there to Waddle Dee Meta. The top panels come loose. Courtesy of that spinner of Emulator. This is a fantastic fight. Where was this performance earlier on in this year, guys? Tell you what, with damage like this, these two could have made it a lot further in the competition, but unfortunately, they folded under the pressure, I think you could say. Emulator trying desperately now to trying to get some perks on the arena floor. They're certainly a lot slower now, and I tell you what, that means they're a much easier target for Waddle Dee Meta, but look there at the damage. Waddle Dee Meta lost his entire top panel now. And that means that the receivers and the battery boxes are all exposed. Can Emulator get through to there, or will Waddle Dee Meta survive to the very end? This is terrific stuff. Great stuff. This is the sort of stuff we dream about in LEGO Wars. Carnage, destruction, mayhem, violence. Two very deadly spinners giving it their all. Waddle Dee Meta, we haven't really seen that spinner there. Oh! Good lord. Emulator's lost its entire front wedge. That's meant to be a spinner-killing wedge, for crying out loud. Waddle Dee Meta hits the pit release, but we're in the final 10 seconds. Will Emulator survive to the end? No, it won't. With 5 seconds to go, he gets pitted. Waddle Dee Meta gets the victory after a fantastic battle. Great stuff. Well, I tell you what, I think they set about their goal there to show that they could still do it. Look at this. The damage caused to both machines, in my opinion, was fantastic. Emulator losing a track, and then its second one as well. Waddle Dee Meta seemed to be fastly in control, but then they did serious damage there. Emulator to the top of Waddle Dee Meta. Waddle Dee Meta then decided that that's enough of that sunshine and completely ripped away their front scoop and then sent them down the pit. What a fight.
Revenge is sweet for the former champs as they get a KO in the dying seconds. Normally it would be a tough ask to follow that level of destruction, however this may be the exception as Sweepy is back for one more fight this year against Scarlet Serpent. Let's hope this one doesn't end up as cursed as that last time when Sweepy was meant to win a grudge match.
Good little clash, this one, between two of the more unique and interesting design robots of LEGO Wars, and Sweepy's spinning bar already causing huge damage to Scarlet Serpent's head. Yeah, if you could just make that copy with 2 sugars and some cream, that'd be fantastic. Oh, back to the action. Sorry, I do apologise. Sweepy and Scarlet Serpent clashing in the centre of the arena there. Good battle this so far, though Sweepy for me are currently winning by a large margin, and now the track of Scarlet Serpent is gone as well. Huge damage. Where are my Werther's Originals? I can't do this without Werther's Originals, for crying out loud. Oh, Sweepy now trying to come in on a side. Oh! The head of Scarlet Serpent has been completely disintegrated, courtesy of that spinning bar. It does make me tingle in places, it really, really does. Scarlet Serpent now, with its head completely removed. I don't think it can really do anything here. And Sweepy, for me, is on its way to yet another destructive victory. Yes, it may look uncouth. Yes, it may be quite a novelty machine. But it is deadly. And that weapon can really do the damage when it manages to do it. Ah! More damage to the Scarlet Serpent. It's just too harsh to see it happen to such a beautiful robot. But that's what LEGO Wars is all about. The damage, the destruction, the mayhem, and the entertainment. There's barely anything of it left. I'm surprised it hasn't been counted out. Surely that doesn't count as full mobility. I'm not too sure that's moving out of its circumference zone. I'm afraid I don't think it is. And that there is some serious damage. Oh! The track's gone. Oh, that's it now. Surely there's nothing left in Scarlet Serpent. And Sweepy. Oh! An entire track mechanism has been ripped away. Scarlet Serpent are done for. And Sweepy collects a very fun, very entertaining victory for its final battle of the year. One last shot. And
6.
what a great win for Sweepy.
Cut to this.
Just the audio of the other cameras.
It's all
occasionally.
happened on the other two cameras at least, so there's that. Well.
So it started well for Scarlet Serpent, in the fact that it moved, then its head got caved in, its track got removed, the damage was so severe we even lost some scenes apparently, the head then got completely disintegrated, the wings got absolutely annihilated, as did the weaponry mechanism as well. There wasn't much left really by the end, was there? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Another track went there, look as well, and then the track mechanism got completely ripped away. In a word, obliterated.
We at LEGO Wars would like to apologise for forgetting to turn on the central camera. However, we won't be taking responsibility for this fuck-up as it was quite funny. Anyway, here's one more rumble for the year. It's Ganymede, Mastiff and Bolts to keep the trail of violence going, so let's get another bin bag ready.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
So another three-way melee, another treat for all of you LEGO Wars fans. Bolts spinning around absolutely madly. As you can see, Hangry isn't joining it here after its fight earlier on. Oh, and Mastiff having its entire side completely torn to pieces by Ganymede. Now, Ganymede is a machine that I thought was going to do very well this series of LEGO Wars. Unfortunately, it underperformed. Another vertical spinner that has underperformed in LEGO Wars. Well, I never, eh? Hopefully next year we'll have a bit more luck with that, shall we? Mastiff getting on the side, though, of Ganymede now and pushing it around. Will we see a surprise here from Mastiff? Oh, Bolt's getting a huge shot there from the spinner of Ganymede. And I think the spinner of Ganymede might have taken some damage. It has, look. It's rocking and a-reeling. It's bouncing around like a Mexican jumping bean. It's not gone as well. Oh, goodness me. Mastiff hit the pit release button, somehow Ganymede survived. I will have no idea how it managed to do that, but fair play to it. One of Bolt's spinning maces has come up. Oh, they've both gone now. This is absolute chaos. How am I meant to keep up with this? Bolt's trying to push both Mastiff and Ganymede. That's not going to work, chaps. Come on, guys. When has it ever shown that it can push anything? Seriously. Ganymede being... I say that, it just got pushed backwards there by Bolt's. Can Ganymede get that vertical spinner into play and do more damage to Mastiff? And Bolt is being pushed towards the pit by Mastiff, but managing to avoid it. Bolt's, well, it can only be doing is what's described as nothing. But there we go. Oh, one of Ganymede's wheels has come off. They've lost two wheels. When did they come off? One just came off and it's gone down the pit. When did the other one come off? I didn't even see that happen. It's absolute mayhem out there. How am I meant to keep up with this absolute bonkers battle? I'm not 100% sure. Ganymede being ganged up on here by Bolts and Mastiff. They obviously see it as a huge threat. The pit is right there. And Ganymede on the verge of going down and Bolts. Oh my goodness me, how on earth did Bolts not go down the pit? I honestly thought they were about to throw themselves down the pit yet again, yet somehow they managed to stay out of it. Oh! And Mastiff instead Mastiff themselves in there. What on earth is going on out there? Bolts think they've won it. Ganymede, I think, are trying to get down the pit as well. Come on, Mastiff, budge up. I want to get down there as well. Let me in the pit. Come on, let me join you. Please, I'm begging you here. I think Ganymede's done for here. Can they move? Can they get away from there? I'm not too sure. Bolts is definitely still very much mobile, and Ganymede are being counted out. What on earth? What on earth have I just witnessed?
6,
That is without a doubt the most bonkers, daft, and stupidest fight I've ever seen, and I loved it. How am I supposed to do a rundown of that? Ganymede doing horrendous damage early on to Mastiff, and then for some reason it's spinning. In fact, it was there. It was the Maces of Bolts that did it. I can't believe that. After that, their spinner didn't really have the killing instinct. They weren't able to avoid the pit very impressively there. They also did take out those chains on Bolts, so they got a little bit of revenge against them there. But their spinner didn't really work as well as it did. Both their wheels fell off. Mastiff threw itself down the pit, and Ganymede decided to join them. I have no idea. I really don't.
As we let them tidy up the arena ahead of the last fight, I'd like to take this moment to reflect on the past year and commemorate the robots that have helped make LEGO Wars the show it is who have bowed out this year. Those robots were without doubt some of the builds of all time. Now let's get on with the final fight of 2023 and its two favourites of LEGO Wars, Agra and Megalania, dueling to finish their years in style. Let's make it a good one, lads.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Seems rather fitting that Agra, last year's champions and this year's defending champions, should finish off the series, finish off the year in fact, for LEGO Wars in this, the final battle of the year against Megalania in the Battle of the Blue, the hammer versus the big vertical spinning bar of Megalania. Megalania were very disappointing in this series of LEGO Wars. They were expected to go far and they lost in the heats, courtesy of King BQ pinning them early. Going for the pit release, but there's a little bit of a risk there for Megalania. They lost to the pit several times this series. Can they get that spinner in? They've already taken off the face of Agra, but that won't worry Agra. Remember, it's more of a, I guess you could say, a superficial face. It's not really needed for combat. The real story is that plow there that they're using to get underneath Megalania and push it against the inner side wall. Megalania are not doing the kind of damage they wanted to do early on here. They've been sandwiched against the arena side wall and against the screws, and Agra are getting several huge hits in with that hammer. Is Megalania still mobile, or is it stuck? Can it get away from there? It is okay. It did just move there enough, I think, to be considered mobile. And they are trying desperately to get away from there, though. They seem to be stuck in that corner. They can't get away from the screws. And this has so far all been Agra, and that's a shame for Megalania. They were hoping to get a little bit of, I guess you could say, retribution here, but it hasn't happened for them. Always flattered to underachieve, Megalania. They've always even expected to do well, and yet they never have quite managed to reach the heights that people thought they would. Agra will now go for the pit release button, and the pit has been released, and Megalania right on the edge of the pit. We know for a fact that they struggle getting away from the pit. We know for a fact that they struggle with control, and I don't think it's going to be too long until Megalania is sent down to Davy Jones's locker, although Agra is also on the verge. But Agra, I think, are just going to survive. Yes, they are.
6.
Megalania down, and Agra with another victory under its belt, and the final victory, and the final battle of the series. Well, that was a shame for Megalania. They didn't really perform as well as we hoped they would. Their spinner didn't really do much damage to Agra, and Agra used good driving and good aggression throughout to control them and eventually send them down the pit of oblivion. That, on behalf of me, thank you very much, guys, for watching this year of LEGO Wars. It's been a fantastic year. Feliz Navidad, Happy New Year, and we'll see you another time. Take care.
And with that somewhat confusing fight, we are done for LEGO Wars in 2023. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody who has helped out to make this the best yet for the series. We will be back next year with a ton of exciting robots and competitions to look out for, but for now, I've been your host, David Smeg, and look after yourselves, everyone.